Healthy, fit, strong, happy. So you can come to amazing places like this. Versus weak, sick, fat, diseased and depressed, which unfortunately is what has happened to most of the world. We have 50% of populations in most Western countries now that are overweight. They're on some kind of depression medication. They've got a inactivity disease, coronary heart disease, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis. They're not in good shape. So what do you do if you're sick? What do you do if you're injured? And it seems that the world races off to the doctor to get a medical diagnosis, to get some kind of pharmaceutical intervention, and now you hope to get better. Well, here's a great question. Why did you get sick in the first place? And something as simple as a cold or a flu or a runny nose or a sore throat. Because I deal with a lot of children now, I've got a sore throat, mummy took me to the doctor. I've got a runny nose, I've got a flu, I've got a fever, mummy took me to the doctor or took me to the hospital. Well, there's a couple of things to consider there. If you go to a doctor's office, there's lots of other people that have been there with lots of sicknesses and diseases. So is it possible that that's where there's a lot of germs and sicknesses and diseases? And if you go to a hospital, one of the horrible things that happens when people go to hospital, hello darling, it's my puppy dog, is that they get sick. So I would like to stay away from the doctor's office and stay away from the hospital. So my whole life has been determined, or my learning, education and training has been driven by, I am determined to be healthy, I'm determined to be fit and strong. What do I need to do that? Because is it possible that if I'm really fit and if I'm really strong, that I'm more likely to be healthy? And if I'm healthy, I've got a strong immune system, strong digestive system, strong muscles and bones, strong heart and lungs, mentally tough, strong brain, that I'm less likely to get sick. But if I ever do get sick, so I have a sore throat or a runny nose, the last thing I do is go to the doctor. I want to figure out, why did that happen? Not getting a diagnosis from somebody else. Why did I get sick? And there's a few interesting questions to ask. Fresh air and sunshine. Obviously, all energy comes from the sun. And if you're breathing artificial air and you're in artificial light, is it possible that your body's not getting the nutrients that it needs, or it can't? If you are getting nutrients, your body can't use them effectively, because obviously your immune system is driven by vitamin D being outside in the fresh air and sunshine. So it's interesting, because the times that I have been sick, I've gone, well, I've been doing a lot of traveling, I've been inside a lot, I haven't got very much fresh air and sunshine. What about sleep? The time when we recover, rejuvenate, regenerate. If you're not sleeping well, is it possible that your body doesn't get a chance to recover and get better if you've got anything going on inside you? So fresh air and sunshine and sleep. Then if you are getting fresh air and sunshine, what are you eating? Because all the nutrients or the fuel, the energy that you put into your body, does it have nutritional value? Because if your body doesn't get what it needs, how can it possibly fight germs, bugs, viruses and diseases? So if you're eating crappy food, if you're eating food that doesn't have vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals and fibre in it, is it possible that you won't have the energy that you need to fight diseases, but also just to have great hair, skin and nails, have a stack of energy, have a body that works well? So fresh air, sunshine, sleep, food, and then obviously exercise, but effective exercise. So when you get really puffed at 100% effort, when you lift heavy at 100% effort, and then you give your body time to recover, so you're the fittest and strongest you could possibly be, then are you less likely to get sick? And if you are sick, is it possible that you'll get better quicker? You're less likely to get that challenge again. So people often talk about viruses, for example, or there's a virus going around, everybody's sick. My question is always, is it everybody that's sick? Or is it possible the only people that get sick are the people who are not very fit, not very strong, haven't been getting very much sunshine and fresh air, aren't eating healthy food, perhaps have a negative attitude? And if I use that as a really interesting side note, is it possible there's a lot of people who say, I'm going to get sick in winter, I always get a cold or flu when I go out in the rain, this is the wrong time of the year for me, this is when I always get sick. If I say I'm going to get a flu in winter, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a flu in winter. I've just told myself I'm going to. But if I tell myself on a daily basis I'm healthy, I'm fit, I'm strong, I do all the things that I need to do to make sure that I stay that way, and then I go do them, is it possible that I'm less likely to get sick? And I'm going to ask the question again, because the third biggest killer in the world is medical misdiagnosis. Could it be a really good idea to stay away from the doctor and stay out of the hospital? I hate going to the hospital. even if it's to visit somebody, because when somebody's in hospital and they're sick, I just want to take them outside, put them in the fresh air and sunshine, give them some positive attitude, give them a funny movie to watch, change their environment, because sadly most hospitals are not very nice places to be. Most doctors' offices are not very nice places to be because there's sick people there. And if you hang out with, and I'll take that out of it, if you hang out with negative people, you're more likely to be negative. If you hang out with grumpy people, you're more likely to be grumpy. If you hang out with people who don't have a job that they like, they're broke, they aren't very healthy, they have a life that's not very good. If you waste most of your time with people like that, you end up being like those people. So if you spend time with sick people who are always going to the doctor, always taking medications, always talking about sickness and illness and disease, is it possible that you could end up that way too? So this is my begging position, because adults can do whatever they want to. But I'm really concerned about our kids, because I now deal with so many kids who are raced off to the doctor for every tiny little thing: runny nose, sore throat, cut on their finger. The big one is Band-Aids. Please, can I have a Band-Aid? I've got a sore finger. Well, fresh air and sunshine is the best thing if you've got a cut. Obviously, you want the energy of the sun and fresh air to get in there and clean that up. And I use this again as a fun side note. My mother was a nurse during the war in Germany. And she was a real major, her big thing was sunshine and fresh air. So my whole life I've been brought up as a child with put your clothes on the line to get fresh air and sunshine. If you've got a cut on your hand, put it out in the fresh air and sunshine. If you feel sick, get out in the fresh air and sunshine, because that's where all energy comes from. And if you lock yourself in a cold, dark room or hide under the blankets, you're likely to be very unwell. Well, I'm very grateful to my mother for sharing that with me, because I'm always out here in the fresh air and sunshine. From early in the morning, I love seeing the sun rise, to late in the evening, I love seeing the sun set. I love breathing in really clean air, and I love getting fresh air and sunshine on my face. And I'm a healthy, fit, strong old lady. I'm going to stay that way as I get older and older and older. And it's an easy process. If you want to stay out of the doctor's office and stay out of the hospital, get plenty of fresh air and sunshine. Make sure you're hydrated. Get great sleep. Deep sleep. Wake up feeling fantastic the next morning so you can go again. Lift heavy things to stay strong. Get puffed to get fit. Eat food that's real so that you're getting vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals and fibre. And if you really want to live your life to the max, have a positive attitude. Live your life to the max with a big smile on your face. Woohoo! Live your life to the max. Check out the sunshine. Wow.